Is it recorded? Yeah. Alright. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. This is our sister. What's your name, sister? Kanya. Okay, nice to meet you. She's a Revert. Alhamdulillah, she had very nice questions, and I told her I want this conversation to be recorded because the question she had, many new Muslims or Muslims will ask about it. So the first question was about different opinions. Okay, she asked, what is the meaning of different opinions? So I mentioned to her that Islam, in usul there's no different opinions. Usul mean like the 6 pillars of Imām, the 5 pillars of Islam. You know, in the foundation there's no different opinions. In branches, okay, and I give an example that some ulama differ about the understanding of hadith. For example, the hadith, when the Messenger of Allah said, when you come back from bowing down, put your hands the way you started the prayer. Put your hand the way you start the prayer. So some scholars said the way you start the prayer, when you face the Qibla. So your hands therefore is aside, okay? Some scholars said no, the way you start the prayer, when you say Allahu Akbar and you put your hands on your chest. So therefore, when you come back from ruku, you put it on your chest. And now, if someone follow one opinion of the one scholar, the other one follow the other opinion of scholar, then we should not hate each other because of that, because there is a room of different, okay? Because why? There is different understanding. However, there's some opinions that the ulama mentioned, it's not based upon the Quran and the Sunnah. There's no proof. Rather, sometimes the clear text go against it. What we do, we follow the text. We follow the text. Do you understand that? So alhamdulillah. And the second question, I want to repeat it.
It was about the servants and just around intercourse.
Okay, she asked because she said she watched a video when I was speaking to your neighbor. Yeah, or he went to school with you.
Yeah.
Okay, the Albanian brother, may Allah guide him, about the issue of servitude in Islam, especially the female servant. And as I've mentioned in my many conversations, that Islam didn't come with servitude. Rather, there is some servitude is forbidden in Islam. The only one is halal in the time of war, proper war. 2 countries with a sovereign, not like ISIS going to Christians in Iraq, kidnapping them and they said it's my servant. No, it doesn't work like that. This clearly go against Islam. Okay, so the one that is, and I mentioned back in those days, like what you have to understand, if you leave this woman or the people, they're gonna die in the desert. There's no train or bus, they're gonna go back to their family. So now if you take them, and that doesn't mean we don't believe, we should not apply in our time. As I have mentioned, these options is being given to the Muslim leader. Either free them or exchange them, or you ask for money, or you keep them to serve you, okay? And now she asked about a female servant. And I always mention, there's no point speaking about it, but it's a good question. Female servant, now if she's married, is allowed for you to have intercourse with her? I said, if they take her in a war, then that breaks their marriage. But you have to wait for her menses to make sure she doesn't have any water or from the previous husband, okay? But again, I mentioned something, okay? But you can't force her, okay? You have to understand that. Because people say you have to force her. No, you can't force her. If you mean you have to listen, I have a right over you, that's understandable. But to force, you should not force no one, because as we have mentioned, this intercourse which is allowed in Islam with your servant female, okay, or with your wife, then Allah allowed it and for you to enjoy yourself, okay? And now, you cannot force someone and try to enjoy yourself by forcing someone, you know. And Allah said, Prophet Muhammad said, take care of them, look after them. So now, yes, because of that, it breaks their marriage, because you taking her as a servant. Now there is something called mukataba. You say, you know, I don't want to have intercourse, I want to leave. Okay, there's something called mukataba. What is mukataba? She writes a contract with her chief that I will give you that much of money and you let me go free. I mentioned something very important which many Islamic haters don't mention it, that in Islam you can help the Muslims from their charity money. They can help the servant who is doing mukataba. So basically the Muslims that are giving charity says, okay, I'm going to give it, I heard so and so she did the mukataba contract for her owner or her chief to let her go, so I'm going to give her that money to go off. So to show you that Islam, only one route, only one channel, you're allowed to have servants, yeah, which is a proper war, and there is many channels to set them go free, you know. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, rather there's narration, if you let your servant go free, the reward of that is paradise. You see, so Islam did not come mainly focus on servitude. Our first call to Islam, servitude. No, Islam worship God. And I mentioned also the outcome of taking the servant. They will mix with the Muslims. They will see the Muslims how they pray and everything, and how many thousands, historically speaking, thousands of servants, male and female, accept Islam. And some, a lot of them likewise, they were scholars, and the majority of them, or most of them, they fought for Islam and defend Islam and call to Islam, to show you that they knew Islam didn't come to oppress them. Is that clear? Do you have another question?
Yeah, so in terms of like, I wasn't quite sure actually. If there's like cooking wine in food, is that allowed?
If there's khamr in it, it's not allowed. If the wine contains alcohol, then it's not allowed. It's haram. You know, it's haram.
I just wanted to clarify because I'm getting different opinions, so I wasn't.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Do you remember I said to you that also I mentioned to sister here, may Allah bless her, that remember different opinions. It goes back to scholars. But now what we see on social media, Instagram, Facebook, that's the evil side of social media. Gives a platforms to non-qualified people to speak about Islam. Not just about Islam. Like, you know, I want to mention about something about freedom of speech. Yeah, they say Islam is against freedom of speech. We in the Western world, we propagate and we call to freedom of speech. That's not the case. That's not true. Why? Recently, because of COVID-19, yes, the World Health Organization, agreed with YouTube and Facebook that anyone that upload video saying something about COVID-19 which go against organization should be taken down. Why? They said because okay, freedom of speech, but now your freedom of speech that you're going to express is going to cause harm to you, cause harm to you and to the society. So now we care more about society and the people than your freedom of speech. And we have that in Islam. In Islam, freedom of speech that is going to cause confusion in society, cause society to differ and to start fighting against each other and to disrespect the also to turn away people from the teaching of the Prophet, which is make them successful in this life and in the hereafter. Then Islam will have a legislation for that. We said no, you keep it to yourself, freedom of speech, because your freedom of speech now is going to cause harm. And Islam came to protect society, not because of you one person, but then we have to change the whole Islamic law. You know, is that clear?
Yeah.
So the opinion is not because someone said it online. You know, sometimes you see sister, my opinion, and brother, my opinion. But who you? You know,
Yeah, exactly.
like, you know, when you come to physics or physics, you bring experts. Okay, imagine now the expert saying something, then another person doesn't maybe still in the school, then he says my opinion. No one take him serious. You know, what about the Islam? So is that clear?
Yeah, that's it. I got to find
أخي there's a leaflet. Mahdi, leaflet behind you.
I think it's Surah.
Also, sorry. To go back to the servitude, some people say, yeah, but if you have intercourse, it's haram because. Assalamu alaikum, hayyakum Allah. No, Allah said in the Quran that you're allowed to have intercourse with your wife and what the right hand possess. I'm mentioning that. The reason I'm mentioning that, of course, it does not exist in our time. Yes, and of course, in our time, if a Muslim country go in war with a non-Muslim country because of Islam, not because of tribalism or because that's what the meaning of jihad, to fight for Allah's name to be high. Okay, then this doesn't exist anymore. But I want to clarify the rulings because we're not ashamed of our teaching, because our teaching came from the Creator of the heavens and the earth. You know, not because someone said it's backward, then I'm gonna say it's backward. Because the majority of people try to criticize Islam, either they come from atheistic point of view, which doesn't make any sense because atheists, they believe there's no absolute truth, there's no absolute right or wrong, or they come from the Christians who they cannot use against us because they have same teaching in the Bible. Rather, in the Bible, the reason there is slavery or servitude because you're not Israelites. If you're Israelite, you should not be servants. But if you're not Israelite, you should be servants. You know, of course, there is when God said to the Israelite father, you're allowed to sell your daughter as a servant. And Islam, no. You're not allowed to sell your daughter because she's a free Servitude only allowed in a specific situation, and that specific situation only allowed in Islam out of necessity, which is war. Because the origin of Islam came to call with peace. But sometimes war has to be waged in order to establish peace, and that's called praiseworthy war. Okay, so having intercourse with the right hand possessed is not haram. Because what is zina? Fornication. When you have marriage, when you have intercourse with a woman outside marriage, or the woman does not come under your mamalakat al-yamin. Sorry, I cut you. Barakallahu fiik.
I think it's Surah
Okay, can you give my drink, please? Surah
52,
yeah.
verse 24. I think that's about 20. I need to.
Here, you can check it. That's not true. He said Jesus allowed himself to crucify. You know, just like the Christians, they are always shouting on the mic. That's not true. Because we know in the Bible, Jesus said, my God, why you have forsaken me? And Jesus clearly was praying to God to save him. So to show you this individual is lying clearly to the people. Because people who don't know the Bible, he said Jesus allowed himself. That's not true. Jesus was crying for help, for God to save him from the crucifixion. Is it what chapter? Yeah.
There'll be something about.
There's many verses talk about paradise that Allah prepared for us. Well, what do you call it? Allah said لا تعلم نفس ما أخفي لهم من قرة أعين جزاء بما كانوا يعملون. No soul knows what Allah has hidden for them, mean the reward, due to that which they used to do, mean good deeds. And Allah said, إن المتقين في جنات ونعيم. There's many verses talking about paradise. No problem. Take your time, no worry. 50, 52:24, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I looking at?
This is 52. Okay, 22. Yeah, that's the one. There yet, and also in your own selves. Okay, in the heaven is your provision, and that which you are promised. There yet, then by the Lord of the heavens and the earth, it is the truth. What has been promised to you, just as is the truth that you can speak. Has a story reached you of the honored guest, 3 angels, Gabriel, along with another. Find it. And they will go around. Boy servant. Oh no, I knew you were going to ask about this. Well, I knew about the boy servant. Yeah, the boy servant. What is the questions about it? Let me read the verse. And they will be go around boy servants of theirs to serve them as if they were preserved pearls. Yeah. What is the question?
Actually, I don't understand the verse or what it
It means that in paradise, of course, you have women to serve you. Likewise, you have boys that Allah created in paradise to serve you as well. Boys, that's it. Some people try to say that Islam is talking about gay, or does that mean you're allowed to have no haram in Islam? Gay, let alone sleeping with the boys. In Islam, there is a capital punishment for that. There is a capital punishment. So no, there is Allah created women in paradise. Likewise, Allah created these boys. They are not like boys that we see here. These boys are servants who serve. Their job is to serve us. and we ask Allah to make us from those who go to paradise. You know, so that's it. That's what it means. But some people try to say, why do you have boys? Now Allah creates whatever He wishes. So these young boys, they will be our servants to serve us and serve the Muslims. Yeah. Okay. Is that clear?
Yeah, no, look too deep into it, and it's not.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes if you can. That's true, because I thought, because the Islam haters try to use these words by trying to twist and claiming that Islam allows to sleep with boys, or no, none of that. This is just a creation of Allah Ta'ala that Allah mentioned. Awlad, yes? That boys, they will be serving us. How these boys look, we don't know. Allah mentioned they will be women, but remember, there is nothing like what we see here, just the names, same, but not the forms, you know? Like, for example, in paradise, there will be fish, there will be rivers, there will be houses, everything, just same. But I mean, the names are same, okay? But when you see, it's completely different thing. You understand? Completely different. So these boys, not maybe like the Arab boys, but how they look, you know? You understand? Is that clear?
Yeah.
What we say to you, I told you, we have classes in our mosque, DAARUSSUNNAH. Okay, what is your question?
So I'm the only Muslim in my household, and it's quite difficult for me in terms of like wanting to wear the hijab, or you know, cover myself in like a jilbab.
Okay.
And I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should listen to my family.
What does your family tell you? To not wear it?
So
And when your family found out you became Muslim, what was do you have any problem with that? With them? Because of Islam or the?
I think the household itself has been a lot more peaceful, so there hasn't been much issues with that. But it's just in terms of, you know, wearing jilbab, covering. My mum's not really like, I think she's 50-50 with that.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean,
well, you have to understand. Look, in the Quran, Allah told us to respect our parents. Okay. Even there's a verse. Even if your parents say to disbelieve in Allah, of course you should not listen to them. However, that doesn't mean you should be bad to them. You still respect them, be nice to them. Allah said, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Your Lord has decreed you worship none except Him, okay? And to be good to your parents, okay? Without any doubt. However, the Nabi ﷺ said, لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. There is no obedience to any creation or any creature in order to disobey the Creator. You know, because who gave you parents? Allah. Who gave you life? Allah. Who gave you eyes? Allah. Who gave, you know? So we should say, look, because it's compulsory upon you. And this is something I want to mention. Some people will say my choice to wear hijab. No, if you're a Muslim, it's compulsory. It's not about choice here, because why? If you're a Muslim, I mean, I submit to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. I submit to His teaching, and I believe Allah is my King. Allah is my Creator. Allah knows what is good for me, and Allah made it compulsory, so I believe it's compulsory. Okay, but no, can I force you? No, I cannot force you, of course. But say no, it's up to me to wear it. No, if you're a believer, it's to wear it. If you do not wear it, there is consequence of it, but doesn't mean you become non-Muslim. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing, you should wear it, sister, because why? You want to worship your Creator. So when you wear jilbab, you are doing it as ibadah, you know. And Allah, I mentioned this before. I said, you know, when Allah told the believer female to wear hijab, you know, hijab, I'm not talking about this hat, scarf, tie clothes, okay? No, I'm talking about correct. Salam alaikum. I'm talking about the correct hijab. The hijab that covers your body and loose, okay? There's different cultures. Some cultures have 2 pieces, 3 pieces, but as long as not see-through and as long as loose, okay? So the correct hijab. Then Allah told you to wear it because Allah loves you. Allah want to protect you, because there's people they like to speak in theory. No, let us speak what is real, okay? Even sister, there was a Canadian police officer. This Canadian police officer, he was dealing with the issue of rape. Why there's a lot of rape in Canada? And he told the reason, because the reasons the woman dress, yeah? He mentioned one of the reasons. The day after, people protested against him. But he's not Muslim, by the way. So people don't like to hear the truth. They don't like to hear the truth. you know, they like people to tell them what they want to hear. But he told them the reality. Yes, man should control himself, but let us speak what is real. Don't speak in theory. Like now, people should not steal no one's money. But if someone comes now in a bus station where there's a lot of people that open a suitcase full of £10,000 or £200,000, will the people take it from him, start robbing him? We're gonna blame him as well. We're gonna say, what are you doing? Are you okay in your head? Likewise, women should cover herself, because wallahi, Allah mentioned the Quran, Allah wants good for you. I know Allah wants to make it easy for you, because in our time, Allah wants to show us, don't respect a woman because of her body. Now, women in this secular life or liberal society, woman is being used as a tool. When you go to work, you have to dress, you know, a certain way, you have to put makeup. Sometimes what you're selling has nothing to do with you look, like selling clothes, you know. So Allah, remember sister, Allah love you, Allah care about you, Allah wants good for you. That's what Allah said, to cover yourself. So you should do it, and you must wear hijab, jilbab, of course, because you just become Muslim in January, step by step, that is compulsory to wear it. And tell your parents, you know, that's my religion, I'm a Muslim, alhamdulillah, I believe Allah wants good for me. And you know, I mean, even they done this social experiment, yeah, in America. It's not Muslim. They're asking a non-Muslim this, because why they say Muslims are biased. No, they're asking a non-Muslim. I mean, even Christianity, Mary, you know, the mother of Jesus, she covered herself, you know. So they asked that if you see a woman wearing jilbab or covering herself, and woman she's not covering, which way you be more inclined to? He said the one non-covered, because the one non-covered showing her body, she's showing me that she wants something. She wants, understand? But again, but what I'm talking here, I'm not talking about every woman, you know, because there's a difference between general ruling and specific ruling, you know. So of course, jilbab is wajib, it's compulsory upon the Muslim female, and Allah told her to wear it because Allah loves her and Allah wants good for her, and Allah knows His creation. His creation from a man, you know, some people are evil and they want to harm her. So when you wear it, you'll be recognized as, I'm a righteous woman, I'm a woman that I want to follow my God. Understand? Is that clear? Yeah, alhamdulillah, speak to your parents. As long as you speak to them with respect and show them, say, look, the reason I want to wear it because I love Allah and I believe that is good for me. You know, alhamdulillah, you know, and you know, have sabr, be patient, you know, and remember Allah will test you. You know, now Satan, because you become a Muslim, Satan will try to come hard on you, you know, but be patient, be strong, especially the time we're living in, sister. The time we're living in, there's a lot of trials and tribulations. There's a lot of tests online, you know, real life, everywhere. We'll be surrounded. That's why I also advise you study. And inshallah, I will send you some of the classes that we have. Everything clear?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless you, my sister.